Assalamualaikum, and I will present about the type of electricity. So the first one is price of electricity of demand. So the price of electricity of demand is measure how demand changes when price changes. So that this is about the price. It's not about the consumer or the buyer. So that the first one is demand is elastic. When a small price change, it causes a big change in quantity demand, while inelastic demand show only a small change. So that the elastic is about the price. When the small price change, it cause a big change in quantity. Okay, so that the businesses use PED to decide the best pricing strategy for their product. So they're using this type of elasticity because they want to decide the best pricing strategy for their business to sell their product. Right, we continue to the second point is income elasticity of demand. They measure how demand changes when consumer income changes. So that this is for the consumer income. When the consumer income, the normal goods have a positive YED because the demand increase when the income increase. So that their power of buying their goods is increased. So that this is about inferior goods have a negative YED. And the YED help businesses understand consumer spending behavior. So the power of consumer spending the YED can help their business. Okay, next. Okay, the third point of this point, the cross of elasticity of demand. So they measure how demand for one product changes when the price of another product changes. So this is like the substitute product. So when the price of another product changes, the demand for another product also changes. It is related to substitute goods and complementary goods. So the SED help business analyst competitor and product relationship in the market. So when the one product is changes in their increase in their demand, the another product also increase. Okay, that's all for me. I will pass this chapter to the another friend. Thank you.
So the last point for type of elasticity is price elasticity of supply, PES. So Petronas supply is relatively elastic in the short run. This means that when the price petrol increase, so the quantity supply cannot increase quickly. So this is because Petronas need time to refine, transport and distribute fuel to petrol station. Therefore, in the short run, petrol supply does not respond quickly to price changes. For the example, if petrol demand suddenly increase, Petronas cannot immediately increase supply because the production and distribution process takes time.
So this is the concept Petronas in elasticity. They have a 2 point, there is price elasticity of demand and income elasticity of demand. What is price elasticity of demand? Price elasticity of demand is petrol demand relatively inelastic because petrol is a necessity good. Consumers still need petrol for daily transportation. There is small price increase only reduce demand slightly. So for the example in income elasticity of demand is when salaries increase or Malaysia economy grows, more people travel and more people purchase a car. There is, as a result, petrol consumption at Petronas station may increase. So what is effect on Petronas? They have a two, there is during economic growth and during economic slowdown. So for example, in economic growth, petrol sales may increase and Petronas may open more stationery at Malaysia. So the last one is during an economic slowdown. The example is petrol demand may decrease slightly. So the example for price elasticity of demand is petrol price increased from 2 ringgit 5 cent to 2 ringgit 20 cent. This can happen because most consumers will still buy petrol petrol because they have a limited alternative. So the change is demand is small. So what is effect on Petronas? Petronas can increase price slightly without losing the customer, and total revenue may still increase because consumer can continue purchasing petrol. So the Petronas using a strategy like they use merchant rewards because they want a loyalty from customer.
So the next one is I will explain the concept of elasticity in Petronas. For the first one is cross elasticity of demand or XED. So petrol and diesel are substitute goods because consumer and choose different types of vehicle that use different fuels. So petrol also has complementary goods such as car and motorcycle. When vehicle sales are increased, so the demand, the petrol also increase. So the last point for concept of elasticity in Petronas is price elasticity of supply or PES. The supply of petrol is relatively in the short run because Petronas needs time to refine, transport and distribute food. In addition, more resources such as workers and machinery are needed before supply can be increased. Therefore, Petronas cannot quickly increase the supply of petrol even when price rise. So that's all for concept elasticity in Petronas.
On this slide, we can see that both the demand and supply of petrol are inelastic. First, demand for petrol is inelastic because petrol is considered a necessity good. Most consumers need petrol every day for transportation, such as going to work, school, or traveling. Even when petrol prices increase, people still continue buying petrol because there are limited substitutes, especially for people who use private vehicles. So, the quantity demanded only decreases slightly. Next, the supply of petrol is also inelastic in the short run. This is because producing petrol takes time and involves high costs. Companies like Petronas need to refine crude oil, transport it, store it, and distribute it before it reaches consumers. In the short run, suppliers cannot quickly increase production because production capacity, workers, and machinery are limited. Therefore, even if petrol prices rise, the quantity supplied only increases a little. So overall, this shows that both consumers and producers cannot respond quickly to price changes in the petrol market.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I'm going to present about Petronas pricing, promotional activities and supply decision as an elasticity perspective. So for the first one is pricing strategy. It means that even Petronas increase their cost for the petrol, but customers still buying. It's because of depend or based on an elastic demand. So petrol demand is inelastic, so company can increase price without losing customer. It also because of petrol is using for daily transportation. For example, if we want to go to the school, work, or anywhere like traveling, we're still paying for the transportation. So the conclusion is customers still need petrol for daily transportation. Okay, so for the second point is promotional activities. It means that Petronas also give a promotion such as offer loyalty, point, cashback and discount for their customer or for their loyal customer. They're always using Petronas as their daily fuel. It means that promotion also help attract customer and increase brand loyalty because most of the customer love to get reward or benefit from what they are invest. So that's for the second point. Okay, so for the last point is supply decision. It means that petrol supply is unelastic because it was in short run. This means that all production for fuel and distribution takes time. So this is because of company. One of the reason company has to invest in refineries, storage, and transportation to maintain supply. And this because to make sure the fuel in the market is available and enough for customer to use them for daily transportation. So that's the point for last one.